Hey everyone, this is Kevin. Welcome to today's Thursday Tidbit. I just wanted today to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give you a hymn playing tutorial of a specific hymn. And hopefully from me showing you some of the ideas of some of the things I like to do in that hymn, that can give you some ideas for your own playing. So the hymn that I'm going to be using today is Glory to His Name, or Down at the Cross. And so we're going to be playing in the key of A flat. And I wanted to use this just to kind of show you, again, some of the things that I like to do when I play, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas for your own playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play all the way through it, and then after I'm finished, I will then take apart some of those sections and some of the things that I'm doing, some of the techniques I'm using to kind of give you the tutorial to walk through a verse and chorus of this song. So here is the entire song. Okay, so now that we've gone through the whole thing, let me take some specific sections, both in the left hand and in the right hand, to show you specifically some of the things that I'm doing to add to that song, to that hymn playing style. It's important, I do want to point out that some of the things I'm doing aren't necessarily things that will fit super well in congregational hymn playing, so what I just did would be more of like a prelude type style playing if you're the only instrumentalist, or maybe even offertory, something like that. The reason for that, which I'll explain here in a minute, is some of the transitional chords that I'm using there don't match what's in the hymnal, but they do add to the song. So this is just more ideas to add to your, some of the things I'm going to show you can be added to hymn playing. Some of them are going to give you some more like reharmonization ideas that you can use to add to like a prelude style or offertory style playing if it's just you and you're not having to match the chords that are written or the chords that another instrumentalist is playing or someone is singing or something like that. This is basic hymn embellishment, basically everything that I'm going to show you. Not necessarily hymn playing, although some of it will apply. This is more hymn embellishment. So I wanted to make that clear here before I started. Okay, let's go ahead and get to some of the techniques in the left and right hand. The very first thing that we run across is at that very beginning of the song when we're playing that first verse, the first line of the verse. And I want you to watch the left hand as I play this. Notice how I did that little walk down there in the left. I'm walking from just a regular 1 chord down to my 7 chord, my A flat 7. So I'm going to do that as I'm playing. So with the song, and then we go to our next chord. The next thing I do is also in the left hand, so we'll stay over here in the left hand as I go to that D flat chord that I just moved to. We just walk up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just a simple left hand run to run from our 4 chord back up to our 1. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is in both hands together, actually, and it comes right after that. So we've got right there, this chord. So you'll see in the left hand I'm doing an E flat 7, E flat, D flat. In the right hand, what I'm doing at that moment is I'm actually playing a D flat chord over A flat, so it's inverted. So this 4/5 chord, D flat over E flat. It's a great way for when you end one line on the 1 chord A flat, and then your next line is going to start on the A flat chord also. Instead of just doing one chord, one chord, one chord, one chord, you can break that up by inserting this 4/5 chord in the middle. So again, together. There's the chord right there. D flat up here, and then in the left hand, remember, I'm doing E flat 7. And now I'm back to my next line. The next chord I wanted to show you is a passing chord that I like to use when I'm going from my 1 chord to my 5 chord, and it happens at the end of that second line. Right here. That's the chord right there. That's not what's written in the hymnal. So this is an example of what I was telling you earlier, where you can't necessarily use all these things for hymn playing because this chord is not in the hymnal on that syllable. But it makes a great movement from 1 to 5. You're on your 1 chord, and you need to go to 5. You need to go from A flat to E flat. So I'm hinting at a B flat chord, but I'm not actually playing a B flat chord. I'm playing all the other notes in a B flat 7 chord, which are D, F, A flat. I'm spreading them out like this. F, D, natural, A flat. And that's a bit of a stretch. If you need to roll it, if your hands aren't that big, you can. And then that leads into my 5 chord. In the right hand, this is important too. At that moment, I'm doing, it's more like an F minor chord is what it looks like. C, F, A flat, C. So, that's the chord there. F minor chord up here. And then down here, F, D natural, A flat, going to the E flat chord. The next line is pretty much the same as the first. Then I have this other run that I like to do, and I'll actually wait to show you this one until I get to it in the chorus, because in the chorus is when I do the longer version of this run. So we'll just go ahead and go finish the verse here. My 7th chord, my A flat 7, to lead to D flat, my 4 chord. Okay, so there's something that I wanted to show you what I'm doing. You'll notice that in the left hand I'm doing the E flat 7 chord again. In the right hand is where this technique is really, is what really makes this technique here. So I'm doing this is a 3/2 pattern. It's also called a polyrhythm. You're playing in 3 in your right hand and you're playing in 2 in your left hand. It's not easy to do if you haven't done it before, but you'll come across this every now and then in hymn arrangements and things. So if you are familiar with that, it won't be difficult for you. If you are, it'll be tricky at first. And the purpose of this video is not necessarily to show you how to play 3/2 rhythms. There are other videos and teachers out there and tutorials that can show you how to do that. It's just to show you what I'm doing here. So while I'm playing this, my octave chord pattern in my left hand, I'm doing. So you'll notice that I'm doing what I did earlier. I'm going, even though all that's written there in the hymnal is just your A flat chord. Glory to his name ends on A flat, and then the next glory to his name, that starts on A flat also. So it's A flat, A flat. But like I said earlier, if you want to break that up, you can add the D flat over E flat in between those two 1 chords. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using this this triplet technique in my right hand to add to that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So when you can use those those triplets, those 3/2 patterns in the right hand, it takes some work, but when you can start adding those into your playing, they give a really, really nice rhythmic variety to your hymn playing, okay? So then there's that chord I did a minute ago, F minor up here, F, D, natural, A flat down here, moving into my E flat, okay? What I do then after that with the E flat chord is I do a little left hand run. This is just a very straightforward standard 5-to-1 run. When you're going from your 5 chord back to your 1 chord, you'll come across this run all the time with accomplished hymn players. They'll use things like this. So that's all I'm doing here. Then I'm back to my next line again, and then I go to my D flat chord. Here's this left hand run I told you at the end of the last verse that I wanted to show you. It's just because we're going from the 4 chord to the 1 chord, and then we're going from that to the 5 chord, and those are all equally spaced. Because that, I can walk from 4 up to 1, and then from 1 up to 5 without stopping. And so that's something particular to this song that I like to use. And then at the end of this song, let me move my camera here to the middle, because I want you to see this little turnaround that I like to do at the end of verses or at the end of an intro. I talked about this in one of my inner voice movement videos, I think, but basically I'm putting my pinkies on the A flats, and then I'm putting my pointer fingers on the 5 and the 3 of the chord, which is E flat and C respectively, and I'm just doing this little turnaround. So just a nice little ending, and then you end with a little A flat chord up on top. So let me finish up today by showing you the video of the whole hymn in its entirety again. Hopefully now some of these things that I did will make a little bit more sense when you hear them. You can start listening for them in other hymn players or variations of them, and you can start trying to insert them into your own hymn playing as well. Let me know, comment below on any thoughts or ideas that you like to use in your own hymn playing or hymn improvising, I guess is more what this would be. And I'd love to hear them. And stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Please do that. It helps me actually. I don't say that just because, oh, I want more subscribers, although it would be nice. I say that because there are certain things that you can't do on YouTube until you have a certain number of subscribers, which we are not there yet. And that would help me to be able to get more music out there easier to more people. Things like, I think, sharing links, things like that. Things that I can't do until I have a certain number of subscribers. So being able to get my sheet music out there, being able to get content out so more people can learn and enjoy these videos. I can't access all of that until I have a certain number, I think 1,000 subscribers or something like that. So we're almost at 100, we're doing well. But if you haven't, I'd encourage you to subscribe and then share it with friends as well. So I will plan on seeing you then next week. Have a great 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you next week.